Hello everyone. Welcome to Caratalks, where I, Cara, talk about absolutely anything and everything. Now, this is kind of a new series that I used to do, but it's going to be a brand new season, let's say. But this is kind of like old school Minecraft, but also treated much like a podcast. So I talk about literally anything and everything that's on my mind, or a specific topic, and I just commentate whilst playing Minecraft. Pretty straightforward. However, today's episode's like main topic is when productivity and or like mindset shifts or what you think becomes toxic. I don't know what to title it. I don't know what to call it, but basically it's about how the way you think about things is literally everything, the idea that you are what you think, or you are what your mindset is. But I think I should give a little bit of context, I guess. I recently discovered, or at the start of the year, like the January of this year, I have a very, very toxic mindset about productivity. And that originated from a really healthy place, but it became slowly poisoned. And I found that incredibly interesting. So originally, I had a growth mindset. The growth mindset is the mindset of, failure is an opportunity to grow, and there is no such thing as failure, and that any project that you do is a opportunity for success and is an opportunity to grow. That is what it started out as. However, the more and more I kind of engaged with that mindset, and the more and more that I was unhappy, or not unhappy, but the more and more I didn't acknowledge what was good about my projects, the more and more it became perfectionism. The growth mindset turned into perfectionism. I was never happy with anything that I put out. I always thought of it as a stepping stone almost. And this became incredibly apparent when it came to doing university projects. I was very enlightened to it by a conversation that I had with my two lecturers. One of them said, lower your own expectations, which he prefaced it by saying it probably doesn't make sense, or what I say probably doesn't make sense, but lower your own expectations. And it is so true. And I was like, that's something that you'd probably say to a perfectionist. Ah. I probably do. I probably am a perfectionist when it comes to shit like my projects. And then the other lecturer, each time I kind of sensed that she was expecting me to be happy with the outcome of my projects. Or it became very apparent that I never was satisfied with the way that my projects turn out. You could probably make those jumps by themselves. Wait, let me try this. Yeah, there you go. Okay. So you can make them. Sick. And that's where muscle memory comes in. Let's go. And so, the way out of perfectionism I've found has been intentionality. But actually going back to the perfectionism stuff for a second, because I was gonna move on to how I got out of it. But I guess when it came to it, it also felt a lot of pressure. Like a shit ton of pressure kept on building. Nothing was ever good enough. And with this pressure also came the pressure to be constantly productive. I wanted to, if I was playing a game, for example, I was always like, why am I not making a YouTube video out of this? Why am I not making shit out of this? And it was really interesting, dissecting this, and I'm becoming really introspective about this mindset shift, because it was like, oh, wait, this is not healthy. This is not good. I realized something had to be done. right? I realized something had to be done because, I wasn't happy, so to speak. I wasn't satisfied with anything that I made. I wasn't, I always wanted to improve. And I realized that it was actually really, really bad for my mental health because I started, that positive mindset that I started with turned really rotten really, really quick. And I started doubting myself. I started, not doing things because I thought I wasn't going to be good at them. I started really, like, really doubting myself and my own ability and my own, dedication and abilities. And it was really, really sad looking back at it. It's really, really sad looking back at it. But I think the coming out of it at the other end, and I'll now go into how I got out of it, right? Um, I think getting out of it was a very enlightening experience, and I think I've never in my life experienced a truer form of tranquility and peace from within myself. Yippee! Wait. Yes! Yippee! Okay, so the way I went about getting out of this like really shitty mindset was by doing pure intentionality. I sat down, one of the things that I really wanted to do for the longest time, and under the more icky mindset, I kind of stopped myself because I didn't think it would be any good. I really wanted to draw. And I stopped drawing because I thought I wasn't good at it. And I'm just like, bruh, I really loved drawing when I was a kid. I really loved drawing now. I'm just stopping myself because I think I'm no good at it. That is so stupid. And so I set, much like a meditation practice almost, I set the pure intentionality that I was going to complete a drawing or two, and they can be as shit as they possibly need to be. They just need to make me feel happy and be whatever creative expression I want. And that shaped everything. I finished 2 drawings, and I was so fucking happy with them at the end. Obviously, like, my mind immediately was like, okay, this is how I can improve them. But I kind of gave it distance. I never then indulged in the shitty thoughts that came after. I very much was like, oh, okay, I can see how this needs improving, but I am happy with the way that it came out, and I'm happy, I really enjoyed the process of making it. After setting those 2 drawings of pure intentionality, I started transferring it to others, uh, other areas of my life again, you know. I very much started putting it into practice again of, okay, I will intentionally do this thing because it is fun. It does not need to be productive. It does not need to be perfect. It can just be. And I started doing that, and it was fucking amazing. Wait, what? Oh, okay. I started doing that, and it started becoming really noticeable very, very quickly with the way that I held myself again. I didn't give in to my shitty thoughts as much. I caught myself when it was when the shitty thoughts arrived. I kind of caught myself. I also started like doing loose leaf tea and sitting in seiza. Seiza is basically the very formal Japanese way of sitting, which you basically just kneel on the floor with a very straight back. And I started doing that whilst drinking loose leaf tea with 0 distractions. And that changed the way that I thought as well, and the way that I went about the world as well. And so slowly I've started, feeling very, very much more positive in the things that I was doing. And it really just solidified, I guess, the lesson of we are the story we tell ourselves. You know, if you tell yourself you're a loser, you're gonna be a loser. If you tell yourself you're gonna be great, then you're gonna be great. It really it really solidified that lesson for me. Okay, so this is the end of the episode. If you have any like topics you want me to cover or just talk on, leave them in the comments. Thank you for watching, and I shall see you all next time. Bye bye.